guys, so I'm removing the rear brake cable. Then I'm going to remove, I'm going to tell you why I have to remove the rear brake cable first. So I have to remove the whole entire axle bar, and that's what this is called, this whole assembly. And in doing that, you have to remove the brake lines. So because I want to extend the axle bar 3 inches on both sides, so the wheel will come out a little bit, and I'll probably put a flare around here, and I think that's all I need to do. I also have to modify the door to be able to go around the wheel, so I have to figure that out first. But the reason why I'm extending the brake axle bar is because the transmission and the engine is going to sit in there, and I don't want the CV axles to only be like, like a foot long. I want the CV axles to be maybe 13, 14 inches long, so that way they have better play, and the CV axle boots don't have to be so close together, and then I can weld the middle section and have a coupler holding that middle section together. So in order to do all of that, I have to take this off and cut it, extend it, and make a new, I guess you'd call this a tower, or where the leaf spring's attached to. So I have to extend that outward with some steel, and I have to move the shock mounts. So like that one over there, that shock mount has to come in a little bit, so a few inches. So so now back to the point. I'm removing the rear brake cable. So this is a little bit tricky process. What you have to do is first remove this lower spring here. And here you just get some needle nose pliers and pull outwards and unloop it right here. After that, you have access to this, the caliper cable. So you can see the cable in there. And then you just pull the spring out, grab a needle nose plier again, pull the cable outward and up, and they'll loosen it from this fork. And then this side is really tricky. So you'll need a flathead like so. Get a better angle. So you need a flathead, and they have these little prongs in here. So you see one right here, and 2, 3. And you can actually rotate it, and you can see those prongs. So that's one prong that's facing us, 2 prongs, and the third prong is on the bottom right there. So how you do that is you grab this cable, pull outward, and take a flathead and push those prongs in. It's a little bit tricky, but once you get one of them, you'll understand how they have to sit inside the hole to be able to get out. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in a time lapse, and you guys can watch me do that. So real quick, pay attention to this spot right here. So this prong here is pretty tricky to get out. I have my hand on the cable, and I'm pulling, kind of pushing inward and pulling out like that. So back to zooming in. I'm going to push one prong in like so, and you can see it's seated like that. Now I'm going to let go slowly. You see that tooth shoot out right here. Yep, see that? So I'm going to push it in and pull out. Puts this back in. Now you have to rotate the cable. Sometimes getting a pliers in there, needle nose, and rotating will help. Or you might be able to get it from the top here. So excuse my flathead if it's in the way. So I got it in over the top and pried it downward. So now it's now I have 2 prongs done. Now to get the third prong, keep applying pressure for the cable. Stick the plier or the flathead in there and push up. You can also rotate this as well, so you can see the bottom of the tooth right here. Then you can push up right so, right there, and it's free. So I'll show you guys. It's 1, 2, 2, and 3. So here is the axle bar, and the transmission of the D-Series is, or at least the all-wheel drive transmission, is 15 inches wide. That means we have a 30-inch, 33-inch wide area where the full engine sits, and then from both ends of the inner CV joints sit somewhere around say somewhere around 20 inches. So regardless of how the measurements, just know that it's really wide, and having the transmission here and the mid shaft, your CV axle is only going to be like a foot long, give or take. So yeah, I think the actual inside of the CV, the axle part of the CV axles is like, I would say it's like 10 inches. So having a 10-inch CV axle, your boots are going to be like, your CV boots are literally going to be meshed up against each other. So that's going to be a really short axle. So what I want to do is I want to cut the axle bar and then push it out, say, 4 inches on both sides. So the axle bar will be 8 inches longer. So I'll have to mark and measure, mark everything, and then I'm going to use the old drive shaft, which is the same diameter, maybe a little bit bigger or the same diameter as this. And I'm going to weld that 8-inch section in between. But alright, to remove the brake lines, you take a flathead and you pry these up, so, on all of them, and you remove the socket or whatever that's called. And to remove this, take a screwdriver, put it right here, or take a little pry tool, put it right here, and push forward, and that comes free. And you can do that up top too if you want more slack. So since I did that, now I can push my brakes out, and look, I have more slack. So pretty simple. Alright, so give the recap. Cut this 8 inches, weld support for this part. I'm gonna make a new box that goes out 4 inches, and then I'm gonna have it welded to the axle bar itself. Go up, forward, and down, back to basically mirror what that looks like. So that way it'll be nice and strong. So they'll have this housing like this edge, and it'll go over like so. So there you go. That's something to do with the axle bar. If you didn't want to do all of that, and you want to do some crazy welding, you can weld the whole suspension system up if you wanted to. S1 Builds is doing that, and their work is top notch. And you can see their Acty truck with their custom suspension setup. So I don't have the skill or the materials or the tools to do all of that. I only have a TIG welder, a MIG welder, and my hands. But yeah, so let's go ahead and take this off and then set it aside so I can slide the engine in. Alright, so I am removing the brakes, oh sorry, not brakes, the axle brake from the leaf springs. All you do is remove these. This thing's really There you go, it's like 14 millimeters. Oops. Try not to bust your knuckles. they're loose enough for me to use my ratchet tool. Oh, that's the wrong way. Set it down and put it in time lapse and complete this whole thing. Alright guys, so I got the engine up. This is not where it's going to be sitting in its final resting place because it's way too low. This is basically the ground right here, and if I have the valve cover at the bottom of the bed, it's just not gonna work because it's gonna be dragging across the ground the whole time. So I wish it was possible to do oh shoot, it is possible to do a dry sump. So cutting that whole bottom section out because the cradle is there right halfway, and then getting a dry sump. But no, that's too much work. I'd rather stick to my plan of having the head sticking up over the floor, because I'll explain that in the end of the video. Anyways, I want to show you guys how much room we have right here, which is really cool. So the engine's gonna be sitting back one or two more inches, so the drive shaft, the CV axle is gonna be aligned with the what do you call that, the axle bar, and so they're gonna be aligned with the hubs and everything. So I'll have this whole section for the old exhaust. Oh, sorry, not exhaust. That's the old heater core for heat for the van. I'm gonna see if I can make some type of heater core mock-up to where air can still circulate and get me warm air. So I'll still have this whole section for a big exhaust. I plan on doing a a muffler. I plan on doing a muffler here, and for the turbo, if I do go the turbo route, if the van's not squirrely, I'll have a 3-inch pipe going that way with a valve in it, a butterfly valve, so I can have quiet mode and loud mode, and then so I can shoot some big old flames right behind me, and I'll have the exhaust come out somewhere to a muffler back here. And then for the intake, if I do turbo again, the intercooler, I want a water-cooled intercooler system, so I'll have a water box back here with the water-cooled intercooler back here as well, so the pump can be right next to it. And then, man, that's pretty cool. Also, I'm debating on buying a clone Skunk 2 intake manifold, cutting it to make it shorter, and welding it to so it's or I could just weld up a whole new intake manifold. I don't know. I'll think about all that, but so far that's where it's gonna sit. And then for the exhaust side, the header side, you can see there's a decent amount of room. I need to move this heat shield forward and move that condenser forward, and then I'll still have power steer, AC, and there's plenty of room for that. And the radiator sits in the very front of the van. So, alright, I'm gonna show you guys the most exciting part. Before this, here's the engine mount. That needs to go higher. So, let's go up top and I'll show you guys the most exciting part. Sneak peek. So, I gotta climb up here. Oh boy. You guys can't tell me that doesn't look freaking cool. Man, that looks so cool sitting there. So yeah, that's almost where it's gonna sit. It might sit a little bit further back. But yeah, that's That's the head of a D16Y8 inside of a Honda Acty Street G van. Oh, that's so cool! So yeah, I'll have to cut this section out right here so this can sit up higher. Don't think I need to cut anything over there. So this can sit higher, and then I'll have the motor mount right here. I might have to, or I definitely have to cut this side right here, because that's where the distributor right there sits. I don't need to make a mount over here because the transmission will mount probably where the original mount is. You can't see, it's too dark. And the, oh, I need to go back down there to, well, yeah, I'll leave you guys up here. And then the rear mount will be attached to the original rear mount location. But yeah, that looks so freaking sick. I really wish it can sit that low, but that's not possible. So yeah, so the head is going to be sticking up like 4 to 5 inches higher, and I might do 6 just to be safe. So it'll be a pretty tall box right here. And the reason why I want to do a box here, so I want to increase the storage of the van, so I'm gonna have a drawer in this space right here behind the motor mount, a drawer, and this whole section, a drawer behind the distributor. So there'll be a whole drawer section right here, and a drawer in the back right here. So when I open the back gate up, this whole section right here will have a drawer that I can pull out and put storage in there. And in the front, we'll have the box up here, and I'll have little drawers as well, like a glove box where the face can flop down on 2 sides or maybe 3 sides. So I have a little box right here, so it'll be right in front of the distributor, have a little bit more space, and one right in front of the motor mount. And then the whole top above the motor mount and whole engine section, I'll have a lid I'll have the lid go this way, yeah. So that way I have access coming this way and access coming the back way. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty sweet. And the rear deck, it's not a really big deal having a higher deck space, because when I have the seats up, you can see it's about like 4 inches right there. And then when the seats go up, I'll have them to go over the whole box. So the seat will be up here, and then I can still recline the back, and the back will flop back above the box. So I'll still have that full bed if I wanted to lay back here. But yeah, that looks so sick. And that's the whole plan for the whole build, or for phase 1 of the build. So, alright guys, thanks for watching, and like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell notification.